Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my experience with kidnappers. So yeah, they took us inside the bush at the side of the road, and we walked inside that bush for more than an hour. We were walking inside that bush. It was at night, mind you, it was already past 8. It was already past 8. We were walking inside. When I mean inside, if I had even escaped from those kidnappers and I tried to like come out on my own, I believe I would have been a jungle boy by now, because there is no freaking way that I would have been able to come out of that particular place on my own. I would have just been there lost, because that place, the way they were even going inside, some of the guys or the person that was leading the way would actually tie 2 branches of trees together so that they would remember that, okay, yes, this was one of the places that they passed while they were, going in. But mind you, they told us to be looking at the ground as they were eating us to, walk with them. Mind you, while all of this was going on, in my head, I did not just want to die. I was like, they can be anything but ritualists or organ harvesters. I don't want to die. I don't want to be disfigured. I don't want to come out with no legs or no arms. That if eventually I survive. But I was just thinking of not dying. That was like the only thing in my head. Yeah, as we were walking, I think the person that actually handled me when they were bringing me out of the bus, because I think everybody had the person that they brought out. So for some reason, this guy really targeted me, because he felt, okay, yes, I was putting on some sort of like hoodie with a very nice chain. I was on my glasses, and what else? I was on chain. That person just felt, okay, yeah, this one is somebody that's going to like bring out good money when eventually they start to like call their family members. So that person noticed that I was always coughing, and it was like, are you okay? Do you have tuberculosis? I just told him that no, that I am very, very sick, and that he should please leave me, let me just go so I don't die. And they were like, if I die, I die there. It is not of their business. But they were still even hitting me. The crazy thing about it is that they took some of the boxes that these people had. Mine was at the boot. My own box was at the boot. But there was a particular small bag that I had most of my things, like not like most of the things that I would be using while I'm traveling, like my power banks. I had perfumes and some other things inside. Well, some of my clothes too. The ones that could not fit in the big box, I had them in that small bag that I was carrying. They eventually got to like an open space, deep inside that forest, and they decided to, start to ransack the bags that they already took from the bus. They decided to open it, and they would ask, so who owns this one? This person would be like, oh yeah, I'm the owner. They would ask of important things. They'll be like, okay, yeah, do you have any important thing, like a document or something that you would know that you can't live without, in the sense that, let's say, certificate or like just important documents that you would not want to be tampered with. Looking for like these things, like these important documents, and they were like, oh, so that you guys can get it back when you are eventually going home. One of them said something about, no worry, God not go put in for a situation where we say nothing carry on and come outside. Like, God's not going to give you a problem that you cannot solve. These people were religious. Like, it was very crazy. But you see, one thing with me is that some of these things, I tend to notice it. I've been through like a whole lot of things in my life. So yeah, sometimes I'll just sit and look at situations and tend to like reason. Like, I'll just read the atmosphere or read whatever it is that's happening, and try to think logically about what's going on. Even in my worst situations, I tend to do that. I tend to look for like the best way that I could, like, the calmest way to, like, solve any issue. It's almost as if I'm looking for like a silver lining in every bad situation that I find myself. So yeah, so I was reading it. So when I noticed that, okay, yeah, they were bringing out documents like ID cards and whatever, they'll be like, okay, yeah, do you need this one later? And the person will be like, oh yes, I really need that. They'll be like, okay, yeah, keep it so that you can use it next time. All those kind of stuff. So those things that they were doing made me realize that, okay, yeah, these people are not going to kill us. Eventually they would release us, but it's just when would they be releasing us, if you get what I mean. So with all of this, I knew in my head that okay, yes, this is just kidnapping. They are not gonna kill us. So I think that brought me some sort of like relief. So I was like, okay, that's cool. At least I'm not dying. So late in the night, I think about 10. I don't know. I was not really checking time because they already took my phone, took some of the things I had, stripped me. They took my hoodie. And they gave me one kind of Igbo attire. All those Igbo attire, one very big cloth. They gave it to me because I guess they liked the hoodie or whatever. They took that one. They gave me one of their useless clothes, and I wore that one because it was late at night. It was cold, and it was raining in a bit, like it was drizzling one kind. After that, they took out their bags because, well, who goes to kidnapping without having tools? They brought out their own bag, and they brought out a trampoline, a very big trampoline, and they spread it on the floor. And the kidnappers decided to sleep on that trampoline while we, the kidnappees, would sleep on the ground. So they were sleeping. I think the five of us were three guys and two girls. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned that before. Five of us were three guys and two girls, and the girls would sleep with them on that trampoline while the guys, like myself, slept on the ground. And it was very difficult to sleep, so I did not sleep throughout that night. And at some point during the night, it started to rain, and they told us to get up. We, the guys, they told us to hold on to the trampoline. We were standing. They did not fix this trampoline to any wood or whatsoever. It was us, myself, and the other two guys that held the trampoline with our hands like this to cover the kidnappers and the girls. It was crazy. Mind you, I was very sick. Also, this one is also getting very long, so I will see you guys on the next part.